No Canal was easy, quick, and helped us generate fresh content. 15 minutes at home, and I was surprised that my wife, Andrea, hadn't arrived yet. She often stayed late at the office a few nights a week, but she usually beat me back. I was in the kitchen, preparing dinner, when my phone rang. "Hey, love, still at work?" I asked. "Yes, Miguel, but I'm about to leave," she replied. "I have a surprise for you. I think you'll like it. At least, I hope so. I'm certain I will. We need to talk when I get there, so brace yourself." "I'll be home in 20 minutes. I should start on dinner, or maybe just order something." "No, Miguel, we won't have time for that tonight. Perhaps later. Just remember, I love you and only you. I can hardly wait to see you. I love you too, and I'll be waiting with open arms." 20 minutes later, Andrea arrived, and I immediately noticed she looked disheveled. Her clothes were wrinkled, her makeup smudged, and her hair in disarray. "What a messy day it must have been for you," I said. She hurried over, wrapping me in a tight embrace, her eyes locking onto mine. She whispered, "Miguel, you know how much I love you, and I know you love me and would do anything for me, right? Maybe not kill for me, but almost everything. Besides, what happened? I'm eager to hear what trouble you've gotten into this time." "No, it's not like that. Let me speak first, and then you can ask questions. You know how I take most of our decisions, and you're so good and loving, letting me do as I please. A few weeks ago, I told my boss, Ricardo, about our relationship, and he had some ideas that made sense to me. He'd read stories about submissive men who enjoy when their wives take control, and how it can strengthen relationships. I have to admit, Miguel, those stories were incredibly erotic and stirred my fantasies. Yes, I'm easygoing and let you decide on things that matter to you, like vacations, movies, restaurants, and even what clothes I wear, if you recall. But bigger choices, like which house to buy, cars, investments, and finances, those are mine. Still, I don't think that makes me just loving. I want you to be happy. My father once told me the secret to a stress-free marriage is not sweating the small stuff, and he reminded me that almost everything is small stuff. Life should be lived positively and joyfully. Well, Miguel, I still think my boss was right when he compared himself to you. He's authoritative, powerful, and takes what he wants. People bow to his strong personality and follow his lead. He explained he's an alpha male, dominant and at the top, while men like you, though kind and gentle, are more beta, enjoying submission without realizing it. I call that third-rate psychological nonsense, and I don't agree. But where are you going with this? As I spoke, I saw a flicker of guilt in her expression, her confidence waning slightly. My boss said he plans to dominate me in bed and have sex with me in ways I've never experienced. He boasts about his size and skill. Over the last few weeks, he's had me touch him in his office. I must confess, Miguel, it's enormous and throbbing when I stroke it. It was wrong, a line a married woman shouldn't cross, but it excited me and fueled my fantasies. He suggested that, as a submissive, you might even enjoy seeing me this way. And if not, we'll still have the most incredible sex of our lives. When I return after being with him, she trailed off, her words hanging in the air. Suddenly, I realized she was serious, that she'd touched him, and who knows what else. What the hell, Andrea? Is this some kind of joke? How could you think I'd accept this? Miguel, I know you love me and want me to be happy. I'm convinced this will elevate our love and our sex life to new heights. Andrea, are you saying you've slept with your boss? What were you thinking? No, Miguel. I haven't been unfaithful. Wait, you caressed his... For heaven's sake. She lowered her eyes, unable to meet mine. Not yet. Actually, he fingered me in the car on the way here. He's waiting outside while we talk. Then we'll go upstairs. You can watch if you want. Ricardo would love it. But if not, come find me after, and I'll let you do everything you've ever dreamed of with me. You're joking. You let him touch you and buy into his nonsense, thinking I'll be okay with it afterward? I feel sick. Uh, what happens now? Andrea, I'm saying no and demanding you send him away. She grimaced, panic flashing across her face. I knew she'd expected compliance, probably coached by her bastard boss. Miguel, you love me, and I want you to. You've always let me have my way, and I've decided this is good for us. At least let's try once. I'm sure we'll want to keep going. Now, I'll go upstairs and get ready for him. You can let him in and wait until we're done. I know you'll want this for me because you love me, and it'll be so good for us. Andrea, what about our marriage vows? Go ahead and prepare, and I'll go out and chat with your lover. He's not my lover. It's just hard, powerful sex. I'll always love only you. You'll be mine forever. With those words, she leaned in for a soft kiss, but I pulled away, seeing the surprise and hurt in her eyes. Don't let that distract you. I understand you'll do this regardless. If not now, soon, maybe without warning, though you've already betrayed me. So, go on. Her guilty look and shock at my resolve made her pause, but she turned and headed up the stairs. You'll see, Miguel. It'll be epic. Yes, Andrea, it'll be epic. You have every right. As she ascended, I slipped my hand into my pocket, grabbed her car keys, house keys, and phone, along with our joint credit card. I headed to the kitchen, snatched a dishcloth, some cable ties from the supply box, and a large butcher knife. Stepping outside, I found Ricardo in his car, scrolling on his phone. He lowered the driver's window and smirked. Well, little Miguel, I suppose you've talked to your wife. Don't worry, I'll keep letting her sleep with me, at least for now, until she's completely under my thumb. I didn't let him finish. I unleashed a brutal left hook straight to his face. The satisfying crack of bone and spray of blood confirmed the hit. Blood dripped onto his Brooks Brothers suit and Mercedes interior. I handed him the dishcloth. Here, you'll need this. As he brought it to his nose, I twisted it around his left wrist, yanked it tight, looped it around the headrest, and pulled hard. I opened the door and delivered another vicious left hook, this time to his groin. His supposed prize and balls crumpled forward. With his left wrist secured, he clutched the steering wheel with his right hand, screaming in pain. I quickly tied that hand down too. Leaning in, I growled, "What a big, strong alpha you are. Pathetic sack of nothing. You've misjudged this badly, and you'll learn from it. Unfortunately for you, Andrea's waiting for something epic, so let's give it to her." I grabbed a garden hose from the lawn, aimed it at the car, and shattered the side window, shards scattering inside. I moved to the front, pounding the windshield until it was a web of cracks, then smashed the headlights for good measure. Returning to the driver's window, I laughed. I think your car's seen better days. I pulled out the butcher knife, pressed it to his jugular, and in my most menacing voice said, "If I hear you've slept with my wife again, or try to convince her otherwise, you'll regret it." How many times so far? He stammered. Just twice in the last few weeks. It meant nothing. just sex for both of us. Let me go, and you won't see me again." I looked at him with disgust. I'm not some pathetic fool who'd kill you now. But if the police get involved, or I have any trouble from this, I'll find you. In a parking lot, an elevator, wherever. I'll slit your throat and spit in your face as you die. Your choice. This might be the last time you see me alive." I leaned over, jammed the knife into the passenger seat, and said, "Andrea might need this to free you, so you can head to the ER or wherever. But keep her out of my sight." I went back inside, and as the front door closed, Andrea called from the bedroom. "Is that you, Ricardo? Come ravish me. Did you sort things with Miguel?" What an utter fool, I thought. "Andrea, Ricardo's in the car. I think he wants you to come out and talk." She descended, dressed in the lingerie I'd bought her. "What happened, Miguel? Did you assure him it's okay?" I assured him his future depends on it. I should probably go out and chat with him. She looked confused. "Miguel, please remember I love you, and this will make us stronger." "Of course, Andrea. I feel stronger already." I smiled and stepped out after her. As she approached his car, I slipped into the garage, hit the button to open the door, and heard her scream, "What did you do, Miguel? Get over here!" I ignored her, went upstairs, grabbed a suitcase, and packed a handful of her clothes: underwear, bras, socks, shirts, jeans, sweaters. I added her makeup and toiletries from the bathroom, then tossed in a pair of sneakers. From the guest room window, I shouted, "Andrea, catch! This might be useful," and threw the suitcase into the driveway. A few perfume bottles shattered, but that was no longer my concern. I hurled the sneakers too, aiming for her head, but she dodged. Tears in her eyes, she pleaded, "Please, what are you doing? I didn't mean to make you angry or hurt you. I can't believe how cruel you've been to Ricardo. He's my boss, for God's sake. Let me in. We can talk this through." Andrea, I can't even begin to describe how ridiculous that sounds. When you came home with your little scheme to turn me into a cuckold, I had to wonder if you'd had a stroke. Were you on drugs? Or had I simply never realized how cruel and pathetic you truly were? Honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter. I want you in hell. Take your lover to the hospital. But on the way, make sure you ask him what will happen if a single word about today's events reaches me from the police or anyone else. I'll pack the rest of your things. You can tell me where to leave them, but don't you ever dare set foot in this house again." With those words, I slammed the window, went downstairs, and threw her purse at her as I opened the front door. This time, at least, I hit her square in the chest. Before shutting the door, I couldn't help but add, "You've had your fun, Andrea." I locked the deadbolt and walked to the kitchen to crack open my second beer of the day. It was then I realized I needed to call my lawyer immediately, just in case the police did show up. I also needed a recommendation for a good divorce attorney. I glanced out the front window and saw Ricardo, hissing at Andrea as he struggled with the zippers on her suitcase. He tossed it in the trunk and got into the driver's seat. She got in, sobbing, looking like she was in a state of shock. He peeled out of the driveway and they were gone. As the adrenaline in my system began to fade, the full weight of what had happened crashed down on me. How had my wife strayed so far? I was stunned and a little frightened by what I had done. I had come so close to slitting my boss's throat, and now I realized he simply wasn't worth it. I laughed, thinking about the garbage he'd fed her, that he was the alpha and I was the beta. being kind and complacent. Letting my wife have the final say in benign decisions was something I did out of love, out of a desire for a happy life together. But she had completely misinterpreted that kindness as weakness, the mark of a submissive beta personality who would allow her to cheat on me with an idiot like Ricardo. Wow, I never saw that coming. For the next few days, Andrea stayed away. Calls kept coming from unknown numbers, and I assumed it was her, since I had her phone. Finally, she left a voicemail, begging me to call her back so we could talk about everything. I knew it was only a matter of time before I had to face her. And since the police hadn't shown up to arrest me, I figured I'd dodge that bullet. It was time to put an end to this. I called Andrea and told her to come over in an hour. Then I hung up and finished packing everything in the house that I felt belonged to her. I sat on the porch steps, waiting. She arrived in her car, which she'd obviously retrieved from work. I didn't know if she was staying with Ricardo, her parents, or in a motel, and I was a little surprised to find I didn't really care. She got out and gave a timid wave before coming to sit beside me on the steps. Her face was a canvas of emotions: fear, shame, guilt, apprehension. It was puffy and blotchy, clear signs she'd been crying a lot and sleeping very little. She looked at me shyly. Miguel, I am so sorry for what I did. I don't know how I let Ricardo convince me to proposition you, to make you think I was submissive and that you would enjoy it. Looking back over the last few weeks, I don't understand how I fell for any of it. I think it was his dominance, his insistence on how good it would be for us, how I'd have the best sex of my life with both of you. You probably think I went crazy, and maybe I did for a while. But Miguel, I'm back now. I love you, and I only want you. I'm begging you to forgive me. I promise I'll be the best wife you've ever had. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. So, Andrea, how was Ricardo in bed? Did you have those fantastic orgasms you dreamed of? With that enormous member of his? Stop, Miguel. It's over. I haven't gone near him. He's terrified of you. He fired me and wants nothing to do with me. He spent 2 nights in the hospital after what you did. He had to invent a story about a mugging, and we're both sticking to it to stay out of trouble. Well, at least he did one thing right, I said. What do you want, Andrea? Miguel, I love you. I want to come home and be your wife until the end of our days. I want you to forgive me. I will do my best to redeem myself. We can get through this, Miguel, and be better than ever. I've realized you're the only one I will ever be able to love. I need you to forgive me. What do you say, Miguel? Please, can I come home? I took a long breath. Andrea, I've done a lot of thinking. This is what I've decided. We were in love for 2 years, married for 3. And now, after only 5 years, our life together, or at least our sex life, had apparently become so boring that you went looking for something else. You might think you love me, and maybe you do, but I'm certain you don't respect me. You would never have thought of me as some submissive beta, willing to let you sleep with your boss and then take his sloppy seconds if you had any real idea of what love or respect is. Besides, Andrea, Ricardo told me you'd been sleeping with him several times over the last few weeks while he was feeding you that alpha beta nonsense. Your lust overrode the vows and promises you made to me. And that's after only 5 years. What happens in 7, 10, or 20 years? How many times will you get bored and break those vows again? Miguel, I will never do this to you again. You already did, Andrea, so don't say never. I've thought this through. We don't have kids. We don't have many savings. And our only real asset is the house, which has very little equity. I've decided, Andrea, that the risk of staying with you far outweighs any benefit. I'm convinced it's only a matter of time before you justify this affair to yourself. And given the unfortunate episode with Ricardo, next time you'll just do it behind my back. I don't trust you anymore. And even worse, I've lost all respect for you. I can't be with someone I don't respect. Andrea had started to sob as I explained my decision, and now she was weeping openly. Andrea, we're getting a divorce. You can keep your car. I'll keep mine. We can split the savings and whatever we get from selling the house. We're both young. I hope to start over with someone who loves and respects me for who I am. I've already hired a divorce lawyer. We can do this amicably, or you can hire your own. And now, we're going to load your luggage into your car, and you can go and have sex with as many big-dicked alpha males as you desire. I'll start moving out next week so we can get the house ready to sell. No, Miguel, you have to forgive me. I need you. I love you. I really do respect you. It was just one mistake I got caught up in. Forgive you, Andrea. I already have. I've said my piece. Now it's time for us to move on with our lives. If our paths cross in the future, we'll say hello and keep walking. Go on, and I hope you find whatever it is you need. With those words, I started loading her things into the car. When we were finished, I just looked at her. Goodbye, Andrea. I turned, walked back inside, and closed the door on our marriage.